Hello and peace to all of you. It's great to be back. Well, technically I'm back here in Thunder Bay. I'm not quite finished holidays yet, but I will be back to work on Tuesday, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I have to admit that when you're on holidays, it takes 3 or 4 days to slowly settle into relaxation. But at the end of your holidays, you also start to bring in everything that you need to do and accomplish as you come back to work. And I know that it's the Spirit nudging me back to the realities of everyday life. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm excited to be back as well. But I have to say that our holidays were wonderful. We spent 3 weeks at campsite number 20 at Kekabeka Falls Provincial Park. It was wonderful. We had our RV Priscilla and our kitchen tent set up. And for us, being in a place like a provincial park is an act of forest bathing. I don't know if you've heard that expression before, but it's all about bathing in what creation has given us, bathing in the trees and the plants that surround you and give you relaxation. We had those 3 wonderful weeks to be surrounded by spruce and poplar and birch and white pine, plus all the many wonderful and beautiful plants that carpeted the grounds underneath these majestic and wonderful trees. And we enjoyed everything that the park had to offer us, the hiking trails, the wonderful view of the falls, the sound of the falls, a chance to swim upriver in the Cam on those very, very hot days. We absolutely loved it. We also spent some time traveling around Thunder Bay. We've been here for 1.5 years now, but we wanted to spend some time discovering places that we haven't been to yet. One of them was the most majestic Wimet Canyon, which we absolutely loved. I'm afraid of heights, but the views were fantastic, and the history and the understanding of this canyon was quite wonderful. We also went up to Silver Falls and swam in the very cold waters of Dog Lake, but the beauty of the lake and the surrounding area was just gorgeous. And we took a travel down roads that we've never been before and went through Nolulu and ended up at Arrow Lake Provincial Park. On Arrow Lake, we swam there, wonderful warm waters, peace and quiet. It was really quite beautiful. All we would hear is the water lapping onto the shore or some bird song in and amongst the trees. So experiencing this in our daily lives while we were away brings to mind Isaiah 42, and my thanks to the divine in my life for the beauty and wonder of the earth. And this psalm basically says the creator of the heavens who stretches them out and who spreads out the earth with all that springs with it, who gives breath to its people and life to those who walk on it. I have to say that the connection between myself and our God and all of creation that I experienced brought me through all of these different places much peace to me during my Sabbath days of rest, and I'm really grateful for it. During our holiday, I took time and I finished a book, and I read some fun fictional books. And then I started reading another book, which I'm not finished yet. I haven't got very far into it, but it's called The Language of Trees. And it's put together by Katie Holton, who's an artist and an activist, who basically put this book together by compiling over 50 writings that basically bring the reader into the abiding love and reverence of the magic of trees. It's a really great book, and I'm really enjoying reading it. It talks about trees, so I just thought I would tell you a couple of things that I learned from this book. Now, have you ever gone on a hike somewhere, walked in a forest, and you notice these kind of black, bulgy things on a branch, like on an oak branch, and they come out and they're black, and you're wondering what it is? Well, they're called oak galls, and they're made up of parasites and insects and midges. In this writing that I found this about, the author Rachel Hawkwin explains that these growths have been traditionally used to create inks and dyes because of their ability to produce rich, dark blacks. She even had a recipe in this little chapter about how you could take these black, ugly things that are made from the bodies and of different insects and so forth, and make ink and dye. So it was really fascinating. One other chapter that I read was about tree theory. It talked about tree theory. So after I read this chapter, I spent a lot of time studying some trees surrounding our campsite, looking into this theory. The author, Brian J. Enquist, a scientist and a plant ecologist, talks about the branches on trees in part of this chapter. So according to him, each living branch on a tree, when put together, so all the branches on the living branches on a tree, when put together, that their circumference measured should be the same as the trunk of the tree. And every living branch that comes off each of those little branches that they were taken off and put together and measured, their circumference should be the same circumference as the branch that they grew out of. I know you really have to think about it and you have to imagine it and even probably take a tape measure yourself to see if this is actually true. But I spent some time staring at a certain tree. I tried to measure it with my eyes and I tried to measure the circumference of the trunk, and then measuring and looking up at all of its branches, thinking if I put them together, will be the same size as the trunk. And then all the little branches off each one, the same thing. While I was extremely fascinated by this theory, I have to say I also found it quite overwhelming. So after a while, I just quit. So I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe you might want to have fun looking into that yourself. But after reading this book and after spending time, looking at this tree and deciding if all these branches are the same size when put together, something did cross my mind. And basically what did was what a genius of an architect God is. The earth is a marvel, and each molecule is made up to create something wonderful, from rocks and water to plant growth and animals, and to us human beings. We as creation are relationship with everything that is here. And relationships, we know, are everything. They're important and imperative to our existence and our lives. Relationships are there to nurture, they're there for learning, they're there for support, they're there for love. I think of the story that we're going to hear on Tuesday night, the story of Naomi and Ruth, a mother and daughter-in-law, both widows who have formed a strong relationship of support. So we have a question that we're going to ponder and discuss a little bit about on Tuesday evening, and it's, does our welcome reflect God's or Jesus' radical hospitality? So I hope that you'll spend some time reflecting on this before we get together on Tuesday. And for those of you that won't be here or unable to come to church on Tuesday night, or for those of you on Zoom that unfortunately might be muted, I hope you'll take time to ponder this important question as well. Perhaps discuss it with a trusted family member or friend. So in closing, I'm going to read the words from Psalm 96, verses 11 to 12. Let the heavens be glad and let the earth rejoice. Let the sea roar and all that fills it. Let the field exult and everything in it. And then shall all the trees of the forest sing of joy. Friends, family, may you each experience the peace and joy of creation. May your relationship with God be strong and loving. May your vision of Jesus' gospel be positive and continuous. And may the Spirit continue to guide you in all you do. Blessings, and we'll see you soon.